2024 is over, and I like to say that this is a great time to be a fan of animation and manga. There's so much good stuff out there. We have Arcane, we have Dandadan, we even have good TV show adaptations nowadays, right? And with the ending of some of the biggest anime this year, people are looking for something new to replace that, to fill that hole in their hearts for the new year. With all that said, here's some of my recommendations for some good anime manga if you're looking to hop into a hype train before it really blows up, or if you've just been looking for something new to read. The first one is going to be Mad. So, the story in Mad starts off in a world that's been obliterated by humanity. It wasn't even really a competition. They literally lost instantly. They told people to go home, enjoy their lives with their loved ones. And our main character is this man named John and his little sister. As they're working together to find a group of survivors, they start hanging out with them and they spend the night with this survivor group. And he talks to this guy named Ethan. They ask each other what they do, what they did before the world ended. And the guy tells him he was a teacher, and John explains that he used to be a farmer. John doesn't really trust people, as he's had some previous encounters which really broke any type of trust that he had with anybody, and they weren't really positive experiences. So as they discuss the plans for tomorrow, it becomes clear that John believes that it's a trap to go to this location that has a signal, and the other man knows, but says they have to keep hope to keep going in life. And tomorrow, as they're traveling to the area where they receive the signal, they encounter landmines within the group. As they're going towards the signal, they encounter landmines, and chaos soon arises, with John reaching for his sister Anne. That's where I'll stop right there, because revealing any more would be a spoiler. But I definitely recommend you guys go read Mad. It's a great story, and if you're interested in series about aliens and monsters, I would definitely recommend this one. Moving on, we'll talk about Kagurabachi. So Kagurabachi will have an anime soon, in 2025 or 2026, I believe. So the story of Kagurabachi is about Chihiro Rokuhira, the son of a legendary blacksmith who forged 6 super powerful swords that are essentially the nuclear weapons of their world. These were all instrumental in ending a long-running and costly war that's mentioned several times in the series, right? So after Chihiro and his father lived in hiding after the war, this was until members of a criminal organization found them, killed his father, stole the enchanted blades for themselves. But what they didn't know was that there was a 7th blade that was left to his son. And Chihiro goes on a bloody trail of vengeance, seeking to get the blades back and avenge his father. And I know what you're thinking, but this is not just a revenge story. It's a tale of also how toxic family relations can hold your potential back, and defining what it means to truly be free. It's also a tale of how blind justice can cause you to ruin the lives of everyone around you in your own life, and how it can essentially make you blind for the reality of the world. Kagurabachi started off as a meme. It actually became a pretty good manga. So I'm really excited for the anime that's going to come soon, and I would say that you guys should get into it now, or feel free to wait for the anime when it comes out. But don't discount this series just because of the memes. Galaxias. So Galaxias has been compared to One Piece, but I would compare it to Fairy Tail. And that's because the characters are called like dragon folk, but because it gives a nostalgia of watching Fairy Tail when I was a child. It has that it doesn't have the crazy fan service, but it's a very new manga, so that might change. But essentially, the story is there's this guy named Narade, and he lost his memories while traveling around the world. He wanders in this village and meets a woman named Gio. Gio has always wanted to leave the town, but was prevented from leaving by the chief, saying it was for her own safety and the outside world was not for her. Essentially dreaming of living outside the town, she has the opportunity when she meets Narade, who is an extremely powerful dragon folk. And dragon folk have this power system where their tails have different abilities, and based off of the abilities, the user is able to use whatever tail ability they have in battle. For example, one ability is shapeshifting. Another could be rhinoceros beetles, right? Meaning that he has to strengthen 20 times his own body weight, and the powers do widely vary. I actually think the battles are pretty interesting. It's still a very new manga with only 16 chapters, but so far I think that they're cooking here, and I would love to see where the author goes with this. Then you have Gachiakuta. Gachiakuta is going to have an anime soon in 2025, I believe. And it's basically a story about in a society where the wealthy live above and the exiled live below in slums, a boy named Rudo was representing the upper class for their wastefulness. The rich dump their trash and even criminals into a massive wasteland known as the Pit. Rudo, a tribesman raised by his foster father Regto, learns that his biological father was condemned to the Pit before his birth. One day, Rudo returns home to find Regto murdered, and despite his innocence, he is falsely accused and sent to the Pit due to his tribesman status. Consumed by anger, Rudo vows revenge on the upper class as he is cast into the abyss. Gachiakuta is a story about the objects we have and the value they hold, because the power system in the series is about items that if you hold them close to your heart and basically be a hoarder, you eventually gain powers that can be used in battle. The ones who can use these powers are called givers. Rudo would eventually go and join a group of people called givers, who all possess vital instruments, which are these objects which were loved so much they gained abilities to fight against trash beasts, which are quite literally monsters made of trash. And then on to Scissor Seven. Scissor Seven is a series about an assassin who's forgotten his past and works as a hairstylist on Chicken Island. It looks like it follows an episodic format where each episode it seems like a self-contained anthology series where he's undertaking assassination jobs but failing miserably at it every time and really just ends up helping the people that he meets on these goofy adventures. Until you start to notice that these characters are coming back and a larger plot is being built. This show slowly starts building a beautiful story and gives the villains and side characters a depth that we don't see in a lot of anime. He's also taking the time to build the main characters well too, not lacking on that front either. Carefully crafting a larger narrative while balancing genuinely funny humor and comedy. Now this is my favorite anime of 2024. JJK was really good, but this show, I'm going to say this now, is an underrated masterpiece. This is a gem right here. It blends comedy, action, and good character development in such an effective way, and it's been consistent through the 5 seasons that makes for an irresistible and extremely entertaining experience. And then we're on to GOGOLOSER Ranger, right? This series is about Power Rangers, but what if they were evil, right? It follows the world where the Power Rangers fought against aliens and crushed them, wiped them out, leaving just the foot soldiers of the world. Which they keep these foot soldiers around and have like a weekly TV series that depicts them fighting these foot soldiers for people to watch, essentially creating propaganda for them to join the Power Rangers force and cement their hold in case the aliens were to attempt to come back. Our main character is actually one of the aliens. This anime following Foot Soldier D as the main character. And Foot Soldier D was always disillusioned with the role of playing someone who lost the Rangers every week, even though like his friends and everyone else would just say this is just how it is. He had higher aspirations. But this is not just a story about that, it's a story about accepting new ideas, growing as a person. Many people have compared it to The Boys and Red Keeper specifically to Homelander. I see the comparisons, but I wouldn't really say they go any further than that. However, I think it is an interesting story, and essentially showing us the perspective of an alien in the human world is intriguing. GOGOLOSER Ranger anime came out, and it seemed like no one was really talking about it after the initial curiosity about the plot. But I think we just need to let them cook for a little bit longer because it does get more interesting. And there are some new ideas that they bring to the table and are executed in a pretty interesting fashion. So I'll recommend this one and let me know what you guys think of it. Alright guys, thank you for watching this. These are really the anime and the manga I don't really see people talking about. Unless it's like a deep dive that somebody does or just a random video where somebody talks about how it's just interesting or funny what happened in it. But if you guys have been looking for something interesting to watch or to follow weekly, these are some good recommendations right here. Thank you guys all for watching this. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think of these anime. If you've already seen it, let me know if you'd like me to make a video on them. Appreciate you guys for watching, but thank you and take care.